Milorad here. Today I'm going to talk about purchasing my first mirrorless camera. It's Canon EOS RP. And there it is in my hands. And I have a Canon RF 24 to 105 millimeter lens that is a kit lens for this camera. This camera is now a little bit older model, but this is my first mirrorless camera, and I want to talk how I managed to buy this camera. It cost me about $900. I paid $700 for the body, and I paid $200 for the lens, and it was bought here locally from OfferUp. I will talk about this camera a little bit later, how to use it, but now I want to show how I managed to pay almost $1,000 for the camera. Actually, I did not pay for the camera yet. I paid the camera, but I did not back up that money that I used for the camera. And that money will come from, there is Canon Rebel T6 camera with kit lens in the bag, and I will probably get $300 to $400 for it. There's this Canon 75 to 300 millimeter lens that will come with this Canon T6. That's one set. Second set that I'm going to sell to pay for this mirrorless camera. This is Nikon D3500. Nice little Nikon camera with kit lens, and with this lens I also have in one of those bags marked Nikon. I have 75 to 300 Nikon lens will come with this camera. That is two cameras with two lenses. Third one is Nikon D3400 with kit lens 18 to 55 plus second lens that came here in this Pelican case is 70 to 300 millimeter Nikon lens. That's another bundle, and I hope to get $400 for. And now here I have film camera, Nikon FE2 with a lens. It's Nikon 50 millimeter 1.4 lens, and I think the value of this setup is in this lens. With this film camera I also have famous Vivitar Series 1 zoom lens for the Nikon mount, and this one is 70 to 210 millimeter zoom lens, and I tried it on these Nikon digital cameras and it works perfectly. That's one lens. Second zoom lens is also Vivitar Series 1, 28 to 90 millimeter zoom lens, also good working in Nikon mount. And this bag here is full of older Nikon accessories and gears, and I have at least another 10, maybe even more lenses, mostly for Canon, because that's what I'm using for to take my pictures with. And all this will be included, and hopefully we'll get enough money to cover all the expenses that I paid for this Canon RP mirrorless camera. Now just a couple words about this camera. Why did I buy this camera? Because going on YouTube and reading about this mirrorless thing going to replace all DSLRs, I said, well, maybe it's time to sell my gear and try to buy a little bit newer models. And because I already have a bunch of Canon stuff and I'm very familiar and like Canon gear, I decided to go with Canon. And also, I don't see many Sony gear for sale in mirrorless segment. And what I'm using my cameras are now mostly to take pictures of the stuff that I'm selling on eBay, and also I'm using them when I travel to take some travel pictures. I'm not professional photographer, as probably 95% of us on YouTube that actually watching those videos when they talk about this gear that cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and we're amazed about technology, but 95% of us will never use or need all those features that these new cameras have. And I'm still going to keep my Canon 7D that I'm using to take pictures for eBay, and because that camera is kind of old and has lots of actuations, I will probably not get enough money to for it, and instead of selling it and getting pennies for a really good camera, I will just keep it. Now let's talk a little bit about this RP mirrorless Canon camera. I love this screen that you can flip and turn around, and when you're not using camera you can just kind of close it and it's well protected inside of the camera body. And I'm going to use this to make some videos, and I was reading about that this camera is not ideal for making videos, but for what I need, I'm sure it's going to be okay. And then here you can see that my camera is set up on full auto, and a bunch of people will start cringing when they see, wow, full auto, nobody's using that. Photographers don't use that. Well, I know a little bit about photography. I used to use manual, but now when my eyesight is bad and I cannot focus manually, and all these new cameras, it's actually, I don't see any purpose or point using manual focus when cameras are so sophisticated that you can get whatever you want even using autofocus. Okay, this is, and also I set up this to take only JPEGs. There's no point using raw images. I mean, all these photographers, they're okay, they can use shooting in RAW and do processing and everything. But for the rest of us, 95% of people, they don't need to shoot in RAW. And especially because if you shoot in RAW and you want to do post-processing, you need to spend another thousands and thousands of dollars for software and to learn whatever you need to learn to make those pictures look professionally. But because we are amateur photographers, JPEG is enough for what we need. Thank you very much.